All right, so today I got a question from a viewer, so let's get into it. His question is as follows. He says, those of us who were introverted in high school and even throughout college that never sniffed a hot girl, also known as a baddie. Then one fine day in his early 20s, one of those baddies pays attention to him and she wants him. Now the young man feels seen by the popular crowd for the first time and is in the spotlight, so to speak. Then it all goes horribly wrong because he was blindsided. So, really, really good question, and it kind of it's the juxtaposition of several different intersecting things that we talk about on this channel. Now, first thing I'm going to say is this is no insult to anybody who finds themselves in this situation. But many times, if you were the goofy, geeky kind of guy, and then there's a woman who's interested in you suddenly like that, she's bored. Sorry. Mainly what it is she's run through all of the other type of guys that she's found interesting, the jocks and the this and the that, and all of the guys that she's gone through. And she's like, I wonder how Bubba's doing, considering your name's probably not Bubba. You get the idea. Now, that brings me to another part here, which is this is why men play the long game. Now, I'm not recommending this, and I'm going to answer the question. But as you get older, what you realize as a man is that there's always somebody from a woman's past who's just hanging around, hanging around, hanging around. So as you were saying, she really wasn't into you, or the hot girls really weren't into you in your younger days, and now suddenly they are. There's a few reasons. Number one, she's bored. Number two, you've put in your time. I've seen guys go decades and just mind the business, just wait. And then when the moment is right, they go in and they get what they want out of the woman. Now, what I'll say about the popular crowd is never underestimate your own popularity. Now, when I went to high school, I had a girlfriend that went to a different high school on purpose. I didn't want to have to go through the whole relationship at high school. So my girlfriend went to a different school. Between that and me really just being interested in going fishing all the time, the I thought I was not popular. Most people kind of thought I was a little bit standoffish because I really wasn't interested in flirting with the girls that were there at school because I had a girlfriend in another school. Now, when I eventually joined Facebook and put myself on, I all of a sudden had all these people from high school that were like, "Hey, man, I can't believe I've been looking for you." Had a lot of women looking for me. We'll put it that way. And I talked behind the scenes to a couple people, and I was like, I thought nobody liked me in high school, and I thought because I was kind of quiet and kept to myself. And turned out that it was almost the opposite. I guess people thought so highly of me that they were afraid to approach. So the point is don't necessarily just assume that you're not in the popular group because you're goofy or geeky or nerdy. You just never know how people are actually looking at you. We view ourselves much different than the other people that view us. Now, in terms of saying, well, it all went to hell in a handbasket because you didn't know how to handle it being with the popular group. What I will say is this, and this advice goes, this is universal. Do not change yourself because of the perceived value that you have of somebody else. So what does that mean? Just because you think she's hot or she's in the popular friend group, don't go changing the way that you approach life. Don't change your personality. Don't change how you speak to people, especially those people, because many times that's just going to give them the ego boost and it's going to make them respect you less. They are going to view you weaker than if they invite you to be in their friend group and you just remain steady, remain constant, just be yourself. they're going to respect that. The girls, especially, are going to respect that a lot more than if you enter the friend group and you start thinking, oh my God, they're talking to me. Wow, this girl, she's so hot. I can't believe it. And you start changing the way that you act and you start simping, right? We know this. You can't simp for these girls. If you think she's three steps above you, you have to monitor yourself. Don't treat her like garbage. Don't treat her poorly. But once a girl gets the idea that she can manipulate you with her looks and her friend group, and she can manipulate you to get you to treat her better, to buy her gifts, things like this, it's going to happen. It happens to everybody. But in terms of suddenly being accepted by the popular group, you have to have more self-confidence than that. Especially now, if you're still in school, obviously there's cliques all over the place, right? It's not a lot that you're going to do to get away from that. And generally speaking, people are curious about what they don't know about. So you might be in the athlete clique and you're wondering about the girl that's in the artsy fartsy clique. Or maybe you're in the science nerd clique and the girl that plays on the volleyball team, you really kind of find her smoking hot. But your friends, you don't really have intersecting friend groups. And so it feels foreign to you. You find her attractive and you put her on a pedestal before you really even get a chance to know anything about her. Now, once she accepts you or once she approaches you, you have to be honest with yourself about why she's approaching you. Why suddenly now? And of course, that's going to depend on your age and station. If this is a girl that in high school and college you were pursuing and she was never really interested in you, and now she's 35 with a couple of kids and she's getting divorced, don't be an idiot, okay? Especially if the reason why she's hunting you down is because she saw on Facebook that you're a doctor or a lawyer or you're making some good money. Be smart about why this woman is suddenly interested in you. That's number one. Number two, generally speaking, they run in packs. So what does that mean? Well, where there's one, you're going to have two or three friends that might all of a sudden discover you. That's what happened to me when I put myself on Facebook. I didn't go to Facebook until 2010, 11, somewhere in there. And apparently there were all sorts of people. I've been trying to find you all over the place. I was wondering what happened to you. And then where one girl would start talking to me, all of a sudden that friend and that friend and that friend and that friend, and it becomes overwhelming. So don't allow yourself to become overwhelmed and don't overthink it. To you, you may think, oh my gosh, I can't believe she likes me or she's interested in me. I pursued her. I really couldn't get anywhere with her. That's how you're thinking. But she may be in a completely different space. You might just be a passing an interest for 2 or 3 days, right? You know what I mean? She may just be curious to learn about you because she's had questions. And then once she figures out your station in life, she may just drop you just as fast as she picked you up. The other parts of this is women that will suddenly accept you after years of pursuing them. Generally, you're not the only one. And what I mean by that is just like the girls are going to approach you and there'll be another one and another one and another one, as one girl finds out about you, more are going to come. The same thing holds in reverse. So if she's hunted you down on Facebook, or if she just saw you at an event where you both happen to be, there's a decent chance that you were one of 3 or 4 or 5 guys that are friends from her past, especially if she's newly single, and she might just be filtering through one of you to see which one of you might simp the most, etc., etc. Now, if it turns out to be something genuine, then that's a little bit of a different story. I'm not saying that can never happen, but you do have to be mindful of the situation she's in and the situation that you're in, especially if she's married. And there's a lot of different ways that it can go wrong because every relationship has different boundaries. You pursued her when you were 20, you were both 20, now you're both 33. She finds you, but she's still married with a couple of kids or whatever. Be careful. Be very, very careful. It's a crazy world out there. And I can tell you 1,000%, just because she's reached out to you or she's talking to you, that doesn't mean it's okay with husband or boyfriend. Absolutely does not mean that what she's doing is okay within the boundaries of the relationship. And women like that will generally have more than one, three, four, five guys from their past that at any given moment, depending on the situation, they may reach out. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? How's things at home? It happens. Men are not the only one that run these games. Women will run the long game, but for a little bit of a different reason. Usually a woman's going to run it. She didn't just suddenly find you hot and attractive, right? She either, a woman can know, a woman can tell just like that pretty much whether she finds you physically attractive that way. If she did when you were younger, you wouldn't be in this situation. So now you're older, and she's going to say, well, he's not the best looking guy in the world, but I wonder if there's other qualities there that she might be interested in. Tread very, very lightly. Women I'm not going to say they make their full judgment about you when they first meet you, but it's pretty close. I've had women tell me they know that if they want to sleep with a guy within the first, 5 to 10 seconds of meeting a guy. Not saying that they just jump into bed, but they know. If they're interested in a man that way, they know, and it's vice versa is the same. So don't get yourself all caught up in a situation where the renewed friendship and the fact that you guys found each other or that you're in this popular group, whatever it is, don't get yourself wrapped up to where you believe it to be something it's not, where you get more excited than you really should because she's probably not anywhere near as excited as you are. Women use different language. We define words differently. So we can't, when she's saying, I'm excited to talk to you, or I'm glad I found some of these things that she might say to you, they don't mean to her what they would mean as a man if we were saying those things. And the last thing I'll say is and it's the same advice I would give you, just be yourself. I don't look at it now, looking back, it's interesting because like I said, I thought people didn't like me in high school. I was quiet. I didn't really, I didn't go out to a lot of the parties and stuff. I was kind of off doing my own thing. And it was a situation where I thought they didn't like me, and they thought I thought I was too good to hang out with them. And the reality was that I was not confident enough to hang out with them. So now looking back, once I've talked to a few people and I found out, oh, that's really how it was, what I realized is that the majority of us, when you look back on your high school days and your college days, you'll find that a lot of people viewed you completely differently than you thought they did. And it's a really, really good learning exercise because you can find out, well, why did you think that? Or why did you think that? And they may give you some answers that you can use to then determine some things that maybe have happened in your life that you questioned why people, talked to you a certain way or people acted a certain way around you. You may find, oh, I see now there's this pattern of misunderstanding. So don't get yourself too caught up in who was the popular crowd and who wasn't, because it may just find out in the end that you were the popular one after all.